I'm listening to the third section of the if when grammar for Japanese, and something that um, caught my attention was the idea that there's a senpai kohai relationship, which is fine, but the idea that if the senpai does something, then the kohai would say, oh, if the senpai does it, then it's okay, or that's how you do things, or it's good in a certain way, or it's bad. And that kind of mentality doesn't sit right with me. The idea that you just let your senpai kind of control your own ideals. If anything, it may be beneficial to hear where he's coming from, but it's really up to you to understand that that's something that is okay with me, or even say that's not okay with me, so I won't do that. But you know, there's something to learn from everything, I would think. If someone does something, you don't necessarily have to do it the same way. Sometimes finding success means diverging from what some people may say, even though they quote unquote know better. They're more knowledgeable in a certain thing. If it doesn't sit right with you, address that. Maybe ask about it. And if the person you're asking is coming from a good place and saying, well, this is where I'm coming from, and you're okay with it, then maybe it's okay. If you're not okay with it, then maybe further research in yourself, or do actual factual research, then go with that. I guess I'm coming from the idea that you should control where things are going in life. But that's probably because I'm kind of in this mode where I want to take control in life. And it's taken me a long time to get to this point, because growing up, as anyone knows, you kind of just follow what other people say and assume that that's the way to do things, or these guys are doing it this way, or these guys are not doing this way, so I will in tandem with what they do, kind of puppet what kind of mentality they follow. And that leads to a lot of negative thoughts sometimes. But sometimes their way of not sometimes, but there's to say that there is a point in a lot of things that people say. And if they find success doing it a certain way, doing things a certain way, even though it's not the way that you would find success, then that's fine. Just find your way of finding success. And that's not something easy to ask, It actually takes a lot to understand that you have your own reins. Even when I decided to jump out of college and kind of pursue a different thing, it's kind of led me to understand that, especially in moments like this, you need to control where you're going. So even when I had a job that I found super appealing, that first 2 years, I had no mind. I just did things because that's just how they're done. But I feel like since then I've woken up, in a sense. I feel like there's a movement to everything, and I can actually feel that my actions have consequences, not just outwardly, but the actions that I make, will carve a certain path for me. And I'm starting to realize this because I feel like there's a lot of big things happening for me, and it'll help me out. This is coming from a guy who hasn't done much. At least I feel I haven't done much. Someone who's found success, quote unquote, because someone told me that success is found in this way. And I've come to realize that their way of finding success, or their fields in which they find success, are not the fields that I want to follow in a normalized way. I'm not saying I know how to do that, because I'm still in the stage of where I'm trying to figure that part out. This comes with my mentality of existentialism, the idea that, nothing really matters. You aren't built with inherent value, but that doesn't mean you can't carve out your own value in this life. Especially in the negative parts of my life before this moment, I found that my life really didn't have meaning in the way that I enjoyed or in the way that I liked. And so I did think about, going really negative here and, letting it all rest, per se. And for some reason in my mind, I never wanted to go through with it. And it was weird because it's not the idea that I just couldn't do it. It was more like, I feel like there's something else. There's something stopping me from doing this. So if there's something stopping me from doing this, I guess I just have to live to understand what that is. And here I am now, trying to find value in things that I want to give my value to, because this comes along with the idea that you only have so many fucks to give. So why not give a fuck about something you care about? And finding something that you care about requires a lot of experimentation and a lot of searching and a lot of dipping your toes in things that you may not like until something sticks, until something inherently in you says, this could be it. Not even to say that this is the end all be all, because there's a lot of things that you could be into, a lot of things that you could give value to. And when you bundle all of the things that you value together, then that's where you find something really cool, something really awesome for yourself, something that holds value. Maybe that's when you, or even I, maybe I'll even say maybe that's when I will find value in this life. But who knows? Till then, I've been really enjoying life. You know, I feel like my mind has been clearer than it's ever been, and it's feeling good. I've traveled last year, especially to Japan, the Weeb Dream. This isn't even my first time there, it's my second time there. But in that event, I actually took the time to straighten things out for myself. You know, even though I went there to meet a friend and hang out with them in Japan, there was a lot of downtime where I wasn't with him due to, I guess, our plans just not matching up. For me, in actuality, I decided to not have plans and go with the flow, because that's how I find success, where I find my value lies is just saying yes to the things that I want to do, or saying yes to the things that maybe I'm even unsure about but could lead to something really cool. And it's gotten me to think about a lot of things in a certain way, and it's led to a lot of really cool opportunities, and it's led to a lot of cool meetings with cool people. It's been great. So, cheers to the both of us. You got this. Take a few deep breaths. And, you'll come to understand that there are a lot of troubles, of course. But if you give yourself time to actively think on certain things and have those things be straightened out, and say yes to things that you're not quite sure of, but you get the feeling that something good will come out of it. If you say yes to those kinds of weird and outrageous, maybe even mundane, random shit, the results will surprise you. That's what I learned. It's just finding cool stuff in random places, saying yes to random things. It's cool. So, through those things, you may find value. You may instill value in things, and therefore, you might come to understand what values you have and what you want to achieve in this life.